have some breaking news coming in. The TMC is now on the attack. They have tweeted a video of the Solicitor General Tushar Mehta being visited at his home by the BJP Suvendu Adhikari. They have also reportedly written to the Prime Minister about the Solicitor General Tushar Mehta and seeking his removal from office. Let's go across to Mamata Banerjee for more on this. Moni, it's been a day of lots of news coming out of Bengal, but the TMC going on the attack now. They're raising the issue of impropriety between the Solicitor General meeting with the BJP MP who is accused in various cases.
That's right. Mr. Tushar Mehta, I believe, has issued a statement saying that, yes, indeed, Suvendu Adhikari did come to his house in New Delhi yesterday, but they never met. That is what Mr. Mehta has said. Here in Kolkata, Suvendu Adhikari said exactly the same this afternoon. He said that he had gone and waited for half an hour at Mr. Mehta's house in Delhi, but they never met. But besides sending a letter to the Prime Minister, the Trinamool Congress has said, and this is in a tweet by Abhishek Banerjee just minutes ago, that it's all very well that Tushar Mehta has said that they never met, but why don't we have a look at the CCTV footage? He has said, how can BJP leader and MLA of the West Bengal Assembly, how can we just show up at Tushar Mehta's house without an appointment? Would a security guard let him in just like that and let him just wait for half an hour before saying sorry? So these are questions that Abhishek Banerjee has raised in his tweet just now. Earlier this afternoon, of course, we know that Mr. Derek O'Brien, Mr. Suvendu Adhikari and Mahua Moitra, 3 MPs of the Trinamool Congress, have jointly written to the Prime Minister saying that given that Suvendu Adhikari is an accused in the Narda and Sharda cases that are being probed by the CBI, given that Mr. Tushar Mehta represents the CBI in court, and given that he's also the Solicitor General, he should be removed for meeting Suvendu Adhikari like this in Delhi at his home yesterday. We don't have a counterpoint from the BJP yet. Suvendu Adhikari, of course, insisting they never met. Trinamool mounting the pressure.
So, Moni, of course, I just want to ask you a little more on what the TMC is pointing out would be, can we take Mr. Adhikari or Mr. Tushar Mehta's statement at face value saying that they never met? Because, of course, the question is, how does somebody get into the home of the Solicitor General without an appointment? So, could you give us a little more details on how they're pushing on that front?
We just have Mr. Abhishek Banerjee's tweet a few minutes ago, in which he has raised exactly this point, saying that then perhaps we should be able to view the CCTV footage at Mr. Tushar Mehta's house to see, whether Mr. Adhikari was just sitting around or they actually met or not. So basically raising a huge question mark on the claims by the two persons involved, and a questioning even the fact that Suvendu Adhikari went to the home of the Solicitor General, especially because, Suvendu Adhikari is an accused in the Narda and Sharda case. We all know, those two cases are crucial, and many Trinamool leaders are also involved in it. They have been named in it. There is a question mark hanging over why the Lok Sabha Speaker has not given permission to CBI in the last 2 years to proceed against Mr. Suvendu Adhikari. All this, sort of adding meat to the Trinamool demand that there was something irregular about the whole thing and should be investigated.
Well, also considering the fact that we're in the middle of a pandemic when people aren't actually calling on others. Apart from that, Moni, so given the little information that we have right now, Tushar Mehta saying he never met, the Solicitor General saying that he never met Suvendu Adhikari. He came of his own volition. He showed up at his residence and they never met because he was in pre-scheduled meetings. But for the TMC, the point here is that you have Suvendu Adhikari who actually did show up, and that actually is the issue here. There's no contesting that.
Mr. Suvendu Adhikari does not deny that he went into the home of Mr. Tushar Mehta. In fact, he goes in to say that certainly didn't go in to discuss either of the two cases in which he is named. He said that he actually went in to discuss post-poll violence, a case related to post-poll violence. And as you know, there are several cases being listed and heard and filed in the matter. We have a case already being heard by the Supreme Court. Another petition was filed just yesterday demanding President's rule. In Kolkata today, the Calcutta High Court has given an order in the case attacking the West Bengal government's denial that there was post-poll violence. It's a strong order made by the Calcutta High Court, and given that, Suvendu Adhikari's contention was he had gone to discuss a matter on post-poll violence. This was not in conflict with Narda and Shraddha. So that was his claim. But again, as I mentioned, Trinamool Congress on the issue, and after a letter to the Prime Minister that was released to the media around 1 o'clock, there is now a tweet by Abhishek Banerjee, very pointed one, saying that let's have a look at the CCTV footage at Mr. Tushar Mehta, the Solicitor General's house. Then, if indeed this is what the two persons involved in the controversy are claiming that they did not make.